The annual Thanksgiving tradition is back for another year. That's right. Get your leftovers. It's time for WWE Survivor Series WarGames. And we're going to be here live, a special bell time, 6 p.m., 5 p.m. Central, and 3 p.m. Pacific. It's the Flex Zone Podcast. Make sure you super kick that subscribe button. Go ahead and riptide that like button. Go ahead and Bianca Belair slam that bell. And sound off in the comment section. Let me know your prediction for the matches. What do you think about the women's War Games match, the men's War Games match? Leave your favorite emoji. What are you looking forward to in WWE in 2025? Favorite thing from Thanksgiving, your favorite dish, favorite color, favorite emoji. Leave your favorite animal. Anything down in the comment section we greatly appreciate as we look at the women's War Game match. Do we need a women's War Games match in WWE this year on the main roster? No. I was a proponent of putting the 10 women that they put in the 10-woman tag down at NXT on ECW when they were at the ECW arena on that Tuesday night. I would have loved to see them put those women in War Games. You want to create new stars. You want to expose your individuals and developmental to the main roster fan base to get them accustomed to who they are. So when they come up to the main roster, they already have interests. They get a reaction. They have fans who know who they are and are invested in who they are as a character. Especially in your women's division, you have 2 new mid-card titles you're introducing. A U.S. Championship, decided on Saturday night's main event, and then a Continental Championship, which will be decided on the first Raw on Netflix. But with that being said, we got the women's War Games match. Obviously, if they do it for the men, they have to do it for the women. I would have preferred a traditional 10-woman tag. If Rhea's team wins, she gets a shot at Liv Morgan. First things first, the Rhea Ripley Liv Morgan feud has to be somewhere near the end because this feud is becoming tired. It's dragging on. People are losing interest. It doesn't have that investment that we once had as one of the best storylines in the company. I think inevitably what you see in this is Rhea's team winning, then Rhea going through Raquel probably at Saturday night's main event, then defeating Liv at that first Netflix on Raw. I mentioned it's going to be the biggest Raw ever, the most amount of names, star power, matches, storylines, and I think that will be one of the marquee matches, maybe kicking off the show where you see Rhea win back her women's championship from Liv Morgan. I think if you look at Candice LeRae, she's been in a partnership with Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton have had some back and forth. I think that will come to play in this match. And I think it will be imperative to see how they tell that story because Tiffany Stratton has had that Money in the Bank briefcase since when? July. And she hasn't cashed in yet. So she's had it from August, September, October. So she's had it for basically 4 months, going on almost 5 months. She's teased it a few times, and I know a lot of people in the community are getting tired of her teasing the cash in for it to not come to fruition. But the question is, I thought, well, maybe they could do a cash in after this match, but I think the Money in the Bank has to be cashed in during a match. So basically, the competitor that you're cashing in on has to be either competing in a match, or I guess I guess technically she would be able to, because if the match is over, she could then have the ref come out and then cash in. Maybe do we get a cash? I think we may get a cash in. I think it's Survivor Series because if we don't do it now, when are we going to exactly do this cash in? Are we going to do it at Saturday night's main event? No, because I don't think Nia Jax is going to have the marquee match on that card. Are we going to wait until the first Raw on Netflix? I don't know. That's going to be a lot on that show. Could that stand out? Will it get trounced? If you do it on Survivor Series, will it get trounced? Because it will. Most likely, this match will open the show. So we're looking at Tiffany Stratton cashing in as the first thing you see. Are you remembering about the end of the show, especially if a certain final boss appears in the main event? I don't know. That's the question that I do have, because if you have the Candice LeRae Tiffany story, I think they could have some dissension. Now, after the match, would Candice even allow Tiffany to then cash in? Because, well, why would Tiffany be able to just cash in so easily? Wouldn't Candice LeRae step in and intervene and stop that from happening? So maybe we don't get a cash in. So I think either Candice LeRae or Tiffany Stratton takes the pin from Rhea. Nia Jax has been losing. She's the women's champion. Like I said, when do we get that cash in? Does it happen on that first Raw on Netflix? Does it happen on a fabled SmackDown coming up in December before the end of the year maybe? Does it happen on another Saturday night's main event, the one in January? I don't know. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley are on a collision course, as I said, probably for their first Netflix Raw. I think Rhea and Raquel. That was apparently the plan at Crown Jewel before Rhea got hurt. Rhea's back with a dashing look, Undertaker look with a black mask. I think her and Rhea, like I said, Raquel and Rhea have a match at Saturday Night's Main Event. Raquel loses to Rhea. Rhea goes on to beat Liv in the first Raw on Netflix. Now, I do have a question. If you don't know, spoiler alert, Bayley's the fifth woman. We saw Jade get attacked last week. This is the crux of the story. The question is, who has attacked Jade? Who has attacked Jade? It could be Bianca, but then a lot of people saying if it's Bianca, then how did Bianca attack her if she had a match? Or did Bianca do it before her match? And then did the Enzo Big Cass thing where she act like nothing happened. Then from there, Bayley and Bianca have animosity. Bayley still is not fully trusted by Bianca. Every time Bianca sees her, she's not cool with her, but Bianca is cool with Io Sky and respects her and is cool being on the team with her. Also, let's not forget, Io Sky has a number one contendership match against Liv Morgan. So I think it wouldn't make sense for that team to lose because you have the number one contender, you have Rhea Ripley, you have Bianca. So with that being said, I think essentially you can get a position where you could have really Bayley and Bianca kind of come to blows a little bit maybe. And then in the background, you have Naomi. And I had this picture pulled up of Naomi last week on SmackDown, which a lot of people may not have seen, where she was looking at the screen with heelish tendencies. There have been teasers over the past few months, maybe since around Bad Blood, even before that, maybe when she kept going against Bayley and losing, that she could possibly be turning heel. I thought maybe Naomi would turn heel at Bad Blood and cost Bayley the match against Nia Jax, and then inevitably have a feud with Bayley, go over, and eventually maybe make her way to a main event championship. Now, with that being said, now you see Naomi looks like the favorite, or looks like Bayley and Naomi are probably on a collision course for that United States Women's Championship at Saturday night's main event. I think Naomi is the right choice. Now, does Naomi win in a heelish way? Does Naomi fully turn heel at that event? Because her and Bayley have to coexist here. But do we get teases maybe? Like I said, we're going to have the dissension with Bayley and Naomi. Like I said, Io Sky, I think inevitably is going to face Liv. Probably, does it happen at Saturday night's main event? Maybe that happens at Saturday night's main event. And maybe we get Raquel and Rhea at Saturday night's main event. You get those two matches along with your Cody and Kevin Owens. And bada bing, bada boom. Those are three solid matches right there, two women's matches. Oh, and you also would have the Women's United States Championship match. So I think we're going to get at least 5 or 6 matches on that card. We know how Triple H likes to do a 2-hour show. We'll probably get 4 or 5 matches minimum, a segment or two. So we got the United States Women's Championship. Like I said, did Naomi attack Jade? Did Bayley attack? I think Bayley didn't attack Jade. I think it would be too obvious. I think it's either Bianca or Naomi, in my opinion. And could we see maybe Bianca turn heel finally and have a heel stable with Jakar Evans and Lash Legend? Maybe be her heavy and call them up, and maybe they can win the tag titles, or Bianca gives them to them. But I think it's going to be imperative here. I think we could see a situation where either Candice LeRae or Tiffany Stratton takes the pin. Maybe Tiffany tries to cash in, Candice intervenes, Nia slips away, Rhea and Raquel are going back and forth. I don't know what we're doing with the Bianca Jade, who attacked Jade storyline, but keep an eye on Naomi, because I think she wins that United States Championship. And does she turn heel in the process? And then she may be revealed as the attacker of Jade. But then kind of what would that lead there? Because we still are inevitably heading towards a Bianca Jade WrestleMania match, and they're saying Jade could be out multiple months. They're even saying up to a year. So is she going to miss WrestleMania? I don't see that happening. I see her maybe having some time off until maybe the first Raw on Netflix, the build to the Royal Rumble, and then we could see the split with her and Bianca, because I think when she returns, she will reveal who attacked her. And then I think this is what we needed from them. A story, a legit reason to care. Who attacked Jade? Is Bianca turning heel? Is Naomi turning heel? Can Bayley be trusted? What is going to happen with all of these combustible elements in the Women's WarGames match? How is the heel team going to be able to come together? Because I see it as, yes, the babyfaces won the advantage, but I don't see Liv has beaten Rhea on 2 occasions this year. She beat her at, SummerSlam to win the title. And then, she beat her at SummerSlam to retain the title. Then she beat her again at Bad Blood with the terrible botch ending with Raquel debuting. I guess Rhea won via disqualification, but Liv kept the belt. So I guess they're 1-1. So I think we're going to get that third match. And how else would Rhea get a third match than defeating Liv's team in WarGames and then inevitably defeating her heavy Raquel Rodriguez? But that's how I feel playing out. Like I said, they didn't really need a WarGames for the women's. They could have did a 10-woman elimination tag, and then maybe have that situation. Team Rhea wins, she gets a title shot, etc. And then maybe even, like I said, they could have used the NXT women. They could have did the women's war games with the NXT women, had the women on the main roster do the 10-woman tag, have your bloodline, and your 2 undercard matches, and maybe one more match. You could have did 6. Like I said, you're starting at 6 p.m. You could have did 6 matches. They want to be out by what, 10 before, I guess, the USC fight or whatever the reason is for that. But I think that 6 matches on a bigger show like that is very, very important because you kind of want to round it out a little bit, like I said. But I'm not complaining. I think this will be, honestly, this women's match, the War Games match, could be better than the men's War Games match. The story is unrivaled in the men's War Games match with the Bloodline, but it could very, very well be a better in-ring product with the women coming up on War Games and all of that. Of the cage, could we see Tiffany Stratton do a prettiest moonsault off the top of the cage? What are your predictions for War Games? Does someone jump off the cage? Who takes a bump off the cage? Do we see Candice LeRae maybe do something off the cage? A big cross body, a big splash. Candice has some tricks in her sleeve. She's been in the War Games before. She can take some risks. She's a high flyer. She's a daredevil as well. Like I said, Liv, she's not afraid to take bumps, high risk. We got Tiffany Stratton, as I mentioned. Nia Jax. Could we get a massive annihilator, avalanche annihilator? Could Bianca or Rhea, or like I said, I know Io doesn't have a problem going to the top of the cage. I'm pretty sure, if nothing else, we're going to get Io off the top of the cage in some form or fashion. And I think Rhea gets the win, pinning Candice LeRae or Tiffany Stratton. But sound off in the comment section. Let me know your prediction for the Women's War Games match. What is your prediction for all the other Survivor Series matches? Should there have been a Women's War Games? Should the NXT women have gotten a spot? Should it have been a traditional Women's War Games match? Go ahead and super kick that subscribe button, like up on that like button, bulldoze that bell. Sound off in the comment section. Let me know your predictions for Survivor Series, where you'll be watching it, what your favorite dish is for Thanksgiving, how you feeling about the NFL season so far. What are you looking forward to in 2025 from WWE? Leave your favorite emoji. Anything in the comment section. It's greatly appreciated. We'll be live 6 p.m. Bell time, 5 p.m. Central, and 3 p.m. Pacific, right here on the Flex Zone Podcast, your only place giving you sports how you want it, when you need it. I'm going with Team Rhea to defeat Team Liv in Women's War Games